first.
Okay. Hi, my name is Maya Ricketts. I am a third-year student at Vanderbilt University with a major in neuroscience, hoping to go to med school eventually. And I am a strong Christian and believer in God.
I'm Jacob Sealand. I graduated in 2016. I majored in communication studies and sociology. I am a Christ follower as well, and I work for Enterprise out at the airport.
Yay. Okay, so my first question for you guys is, was this intentional Christian dating from the beginning?
Yes.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. But it was off to a rocky start because you had like the distractions of just going to parties and not really focusing and just having fun because it's a college relationship. So it didn't need to be that serious at first, especially because he was graduating. You know, you don't really want to get attached, but I think it kind of just found itself very early based off our own values. Am I supposed to be based off of our own values, I think that we found ourselves in this Christian relationship from early on.
Definitely didn't want a relationship at all. When I first met her, as far as I had told all of my friends, I was like, I'm getting ready to graduate. I was thinking about going to grad school up at Penn State, so I was like, I don't want to get attached to anything. I've been from relationship to relationship, and there's only one common factor in each of them, and their failures, and it's me. So I don't know if I was gonna, want to be in any type of relationship. And I told her, I was like, I'm not trying to, do anything too serious. I'd like to get to know you, and that's kind of how it started. Where we just a little bit of a time started like sharing devos with each other, and then it wasn't necessarily every day, but whenever we both would have like a free time in the morning, we'd like do a devo together and like share what we thought about it. And then because of that, it just kept snowballing downhill, and I couldn't get rid of her after that. So.
Yeah, and I think also that we were both avid prayers, so we would pray every single time of the day, and so since we spent so much time together, we'd then start praying together, and then asking, how's your relationship with God, and just doing small checkups on our personal relationships with God, which eventually just kind of came together as one. So
definitely was uncomfortable the praying together.
Yes,
I was terrible at it, and very uncomfortable. And every time she's like, "You want to pray?" and I'm like, "No, you got it." Every
yes.
time. And I was like, "No, you're really good at this. You're a lot better at it than I am. I'll just tell you, what to include for me." But as our relationship has matured, I've definitely found myself calling her in the mornings and wanting to just pray for her, even though she's not awake at all.
Yeah.
And we'll just groan through it. But I definitely found myself a lot more willing to share and open up with her.
Awesome. Okay, so my second question is, what are some ways that you two keep God at the center of your relationship?
Prayer. That's one thing. Just
the main thing.
Yeah, really. Being in that space with each other at your most vulnerable state, I think, is important in a relationship, and to share that and to ensure that whatever happens in this world doesn't really matter, and that there is a higher being that takes care of everything. And even though we can plan throughout the day and we say, okay, this is what I want to happen, this is what I want to for me and for him, there's still someone that takes care of everything else. And so being in that vulnerable state with someone, I think, is essential to ensuring that Christ is at the center. I say
prayer and just God humbling us constantly throughout our lives. So we'll emphasize and we'll do a really good job of for a month stretch, 2 month stretch, 3 month stretch of just constantly encouraging each other and reminding each other, hey, this is what our relationship is about. This is what we're rooted in. This is the foundation that holds us together. And then, as life happens, we all start to stray a little bit, and it takes a wake-up call to, put you back on path. And this has been a relationship where every single one of those wake-up calls that each of us have gotten plenty. Each time it's helped us draw nearer to each other, but not like attaching ourselves to each other as like being each other's savior, each other's salvation, which is something I used to struggle with. So being able to just rely on someone to encourage you, but also keep him at the center while you go through the hardships has definitely made the difference for us, I think.
I also think something that helps us really well is that before we even start talking for the day, we send each other like devotionals or say, did you look at the verse of the day? And so just having that conversation first and starting off the day as like, this is what our day should be surrounded by is really important, because you don't get distracted by the other things like, oh, like I love you and this and that, but like, no, I love Jesus first, and we share that common ground first. So yeah, just serves as a refresher. It's nice.
Have you guys had to set parameters for maintaining purity in your relationship?
Oh yes.
You want to share that?
It's a lot harder in college because you're right next to each other, and it's very easy and convenient to just walk across campus and be in someone's room and be alone with that person. So in college, I was lucky. We were both lucky enough. We had roommates that were always around. So.
And we're always checking us. Like my friends would be like, "Are you at Jacob's at this time?" And I'd be like, and then I'd kind of like, I wouldn't say guilt tripped me, but it reminded me of where I was supposed to be. And even though those friends weren't necessarily believers, I feel like God placed them in my life to always expect that of me. And so they held me really accountable. So I would say my friends definitely played a role in like ensuring that we would set those parameters. And I think the more mature that we got, even though college was hard, when he left Vanderbilt, it became a little, I guess, harder to maintain those parameters, because now you maintain those parameters for a college relationship, but then now it's like he's out of school, and so you like kind of have to figure out, okay, how do I navigate him being out of school, and then it's so easy for me to go over there to his house and hang out, and he's not on college anymore, so I need to like compensate for him not being here, so I need to spend more time with him. So I would say like the setting parameters is so hard, but so essential, because you get so lost in like loving each other, and you can always say that going farther than what you're supposed to be doing in a dating relationship is just love, and it's also love and care. It's like we know that it's not. So
ultimately, it's fleeting.
Yeah.
Like all the physical and temporal pleasures of the world. I mean, we all struggle with it, but it's definitely taken us a lot of time and maturity to realize, you know what, that's not what this relationship is about at all. And no matter how much or how little of the temptation we actually, decide to embrace or, struggle with, ultimately that's not what our relationship is about. It's only going to make our relationship more difficult moving forward. So a couple parameters would be like, on weekends where we actually get to spend some time together and like have hours and chunks, we have done a lot better job of saying, hey, instead of just saying, let's just spend some time together, hang out at the house and just like sit around inside and lay around and just watch Netflix or something like that. Just know, like, let's get out of the house, let's go be around other people, let's go do something interactive.
We've gotten so much better.
Let's go work out, which is hard because when you could lay in bed on your Saturday, it's hard to say, hey, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
But ultimately, our relationship's so much more healthy when we decide to do productive things versus focus on not doing the destructive things.
We even have like, we even have like a board where we have kind of very visible to the both of us, and we write down date ideas, and so that we ensure that we check each and every one of them out, so that every single weekend that rolls around, we have something to do that doesn't just let us sit around and wait for the devil to play with our idle hands,
And we don't have the excuse of sitting there and be like, well, I didn't think of anything, I didn't either. Okay, well, we'll do something later. Like, let's try and think about something and be lazy ultimately, but
make it like a goal to always have date ideas set down somewhere. What?
I was gonna say that was not by my doing at all. That was because I definitely like to sit there and be like, yeah, let's think of something now. Not a planner.
Yeah, and I was not happy with that process at all. Because every time we would just sit around and be like, oh, let's do something today, and it would always end up just being like, I just want to be lazy anyway. Because you're tired, and it's just so easy to just kind of ditch those plans anyway. It's so tempting.
So, Jacob, you said that that's ultimately not what your relationship is about. So, what do you guys think that your relationship is about then?
Not about each other.
That's
Such a deep question.
that is.
I was gonna say, so the way that like I try and conceptualize in the way that what I believe in and the way my faith is like oriented is like I know that no matter how great the greatest thing on this earth is, it's nothing in comparison to what we have in store for us. So no matter how much I love her and I want to spend every minute with her and the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, like we ride them together, and you know, if something were to happen and we were to be separated from each other, it's like losing, you know, your best friend. You never want to even imagine that. But also to realize one day we're going to make it to a place where we will be so overjoyed and overwhelmed with His grace and love that it's not that you're not going to think of that person, because like it's not an insult to their memory. It's just like it's a compliment to His grace.
I also think our relationship is very different than my past relationships, and what exactly the relationship is surrounded by and what it's about is that it's about wanting the best for that person, and wanting that person to be the best individual that needs to be a better girlfriend, a better boyfriend. It's more so about how can I serve as a person who helps this person be a better follower of God, be a better Christian. It's a very unselfish thought, and I think that's a lot of things that people need to think about more, because it then determines your actions, it then determines your thoughts, because you're not always thinking about how that person can be better for you, but be better for this world. Like, way too limiting to be thinking about how this person can be better for me. You know, once they're better for the world, God will place them to be better for you. So
We're not each other's God.
yeah. Snap, baby.
So, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but if you want to expand or not, what is it like for you guys? What was it before Jacob graduated? What is it like navigating this relationship in a godly way while dealing with the temptations of being on a college campus?
Hard. And it's not even just being on a college campus, it's our generation and what's the societal norm nowadays, and
Our friends.
not just, and it's not even just like, since the norm is pushed so extreme, like, and it's just so far, everything is just accepted now, and not in a negative light, but just there's so much that people used to bat an eye at, and now it's just the norm. And to have a relationship where every single person around you is looking at you like you're absolutely crazy.
Right.
Or,
yeah.
what are you talking about? Y'all don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
Are you guys joking?
Yeah.
It's frustrating, and it's tiring, but it's also the most rewarding thing in the world, because you are working to build something, and even if this doesn't work out, and we talked about this morning, even if this doesn't work out, it would break our hearts, but like ultimately I want what's best for her. And love is, he defines it as, it's unselfish, and she wants what's best for me. So to see everything crash and burn around us, and everyone trying to put their 2 cents in on what we should do with our relationship. I'm not throwing them under the bus and saying like we're better than anyone, because we're the worst of them all. But it's just being honest. It's being honest with yourself and being honest with each other, that we don't have to give in to what people say is normal, like what the culture is.
And it's also, it gets hard when people are around you and they're in relationships and they tend to like try to paint it as this is what a successful relationship looks like. And they're like, well, there's no other way a relationship can like prosper and truly develop into something beautiful unless you have these things going down the line. So if you're not sleeping over his house every night, what are you doing? If you're not doing homework with him every single night, what are you doing?
You're not posting on Instagram.
Right, like people, okay, this is an actual scenario that happened.
Can we do a reality check?
Yeah, no, seriously.
No more social media relationships. Stop it. It's not real. No one cares.
And he's honestly antisocial. But someone walked into my room and I have a wall of pictures of all my friends. And you're all of my friends and all of the good experiences I've had, and there are a few pictures of me and him, and they walked into my room and they said, I've never seen these pictures before, why are they not on Instagram? And I said, but whose relationship is it? Like, I didn't know I was supposed to share my entire relationship with you guys. And so then it's like they looked at me like I was crazy. And so just being able to share that kind of bond with someone and not have to share it with the world, and knowing and being confident in the fact that your relationship will prosper regardless of anyone's opinion, like that's, I think we had to get there first, because that wasn't what we both had. I had it in my mind that I definitely was attached to the whole social media idea. I would then say to him sometimes, like, why aren't you posting me on social media? Like, why aren't you praising me? You should be praising me. You should be my king. Like,
so I deleted it all.
No, he did. So I couldn't even complain anymore. But I had to get to that point, and that wasn't like a natural thought. That wasn't like, oh, I definitely am not social media. I'm not a part of this generation. No, I kind of was at some point. But then I had to realize what kind of relationship I'm in and what kind of benefit that's going to be in the future. I think I used to think very much in the moment, and now I think very much in the future for us and for myself.
Not seeking validation from others,
or like
for us to feel like our relationship is satisfying.
Yeah, I think we care less about people's opinions now than ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible for me to care less, but we've definitely progressed.
Okay. My third or fourth question, maybe. Is there an expectancy of marriage from this relationship?
Yeah.
I made that face because I'm older and
He's more forward.
I want to wait. I mean, like, not I want to wait. We have to wait. It just realistically, am I absolutely in love with her? Yes. Do I think that I would like to spend the rest of my life with her? Yes. Do I control all of that? No. It's not in either of our control. So
Yeah.
you can plan all you want to, but ultimately it's his path that's gonna, take you there. So we just pray that we be the best that we can for each other as long as we can for each other. And if the time comes where we're both in a place that, i.e. she's like 16 years of school left, so there's not a whole lot of point for me to
And I think it's also an honest answer to say that sometimes it's scary to kind of like expect that. It's really, because you want to plan for it, but you don't want to be disappointed by God's plans. And so people tend to think like Christian relationships like have it down pat when they know that you're going to get married, they plan for it. But it's a scary thought, and it's just like everything else in life, like you have to just work for it. And sometimes you want to say that, oh, we're definitely going to get married, and sometimes you're just like, I don't even want to be in the same room as him. But like overall, I would say that the thought is in my head, and we work towards it, and following God's path and whatever he wants for the both of us is really our goal right now. I don't think we focus so much on the marriage part of it, but just making sure that we are humble and that we are accepting of God's will.
Okay, my last question is something that you guys answer separately. So, Jacob, what does it take for you to stay committed to Maya?
Maturity. It took years and years before I ever knew she existed of me making every mistake possible. Trial by error. But honestly, ever since I've met her, it's just taken a lot of prayer and a lot of humility. I've had to put my pride to the side. And something that I told her when we first said I love you to each other, that I don't believe in, this may come off really cynical, but I don't believe in that there's a true soulmate somewhere else out there. There's that perfect person waiting on you and everything's gonna be peaches and cream. Well, crap. Love is it's a constant effort. It's a constant unselfish action. It's a decision.
It is a choice.
It's a choice.
It is a choice.
And I told her, I was like, as long as I choose to love you and you choose to love me and we choose to, is the word actually means love, is unselfishly love each other, not just what can you do for me, but just how can I help you today? How can I make you a better person? Because we can jump from one person to another and experience love. You spend enough time with someone, you can convince yourself you're in love with them. But it's finding that person that helps you grow. And I think just that constant realization of nothing's ever going to be perfect, but good Lord, I'm so lucky to be in a relationship with a woman of Christ that holds herself true to what she believes in, holds me true to what a man of Christ should be like, and can look me dead in my eyes and tell me I'm dead wrong. Jacob, what are you doing? You are so far off. And it hurts, and I'll fight it, and then I told her I'll lay in bed at night and I sit there and I think about the stuff that she says, and that's how I know, that's another thing that I love about her, is that I reflect on the things that she says. It's not criticism, it's her trying to coach me. So I think it takes a lot of humility. It takes you putting your pride to the side and not seeing yourself first, putting yourself last.
All right, Maya.
I think one thing, or actually two things that make me stay committed to Jacob is he challenges me in ways that no one has ever. He challenges me spiritually, physically, goodness, and emotionally, and all of those. I don't really enjoy going through life on just a smooth path. I don't like that at all. I like a life where I'm challenged and someone can really match up to the plate that I'm serving them. I think that starting our relationship, I kind of felt, and he knows, I kind of felt like I was challenging him a lot more than he was challenging me. But as we grew together and we challenged each other, I think that's what made me stay so committed to him. And another thing that makes me stay committed to him is that I serve him. In the Bible, it says that wives must serve their husbands, and that's what I do on a daily basis. Is I think less about how he can make me happy, and think more about how can I better him? How can I remind him that God should be the center of his life? How can I remind him that he needs to get his bills paid? How can I remind him that he needs to start saving? Just things like that. Serving that person unselfishly